How's it going? This is Matt Coplon. We're here at Profile Racing at our main factory in St. Pete, Florida. I'm going to give you guys a walking tour through the shop, through both our inventory section and the machine shop. So come on in. First section we'll start with is the staging area for cranks. So this is after the cranks go through about the first 10 processes of being the bosses being machined, the cranks being welded, basically the cranks being finished and prepped for being sent out to get painted or chromed. This is where they sit in bins to get prepped. Next process after they come back is they get heat treated. This is basically the section where everything sits after being heat treated, and after being heat treated, they actually get taken over into the sandblasting machine and get finished there before they get painted and chromed. And they come back, and then we package them up and get them out the door. This section here is the staging area for all the product that we basically come out of the machines and are prepped and ready to go to get anodized and painted. This is the hub section along this wall, and stems and small parts along this wall. This is the sprocket staging area. So most of the sprockets are here to get pulled out of the bins to get sent to the anodizers. This table here is specifically for the Z-Coaster. This is where we assemble the Z-Coaster from scratch. So when we build hubs here, everything is from start to finish. So once they come in from the anodizer, from the painter, everything sits in basically their parts, and we have to assemble the hub per order. So every hub that goes out of here, we actually hand build per order. This area is the hub building area. The first part in the hub building is to get the drivers built. So this area over here is specifically where bearings, springs, and pawls are put in the drivers. All the hardware is along this wall. So there's cogs, there's bolts, there's nuts, there's all the upgrade bolts that we make, the hex bolts, the button head bolts, titanium bolts, they're all here ready for assembly. This is the axle section here. So all the axles are along this wall and more hardware up here to finish up the hubs. This is the elite section here. So all the hub shells are here ready for being pulled to assemble. So all the elite shells are here. Along this wall over here where all the mini hub shells are. So come along. After the stems come back, we have to assemble them and bag them up. So actually all of the stems are along this wall here. So we have all the profile stems, all the Madeira stems. There's a little bit of the column cranks that are just kind of overstocked. We got the Madeira sprockets down here. There's a couple more staging areas here for new product going out to the anodizer. You'll actually see those right there. First glimpse of the Gyrolite hubs, which by the time you see this will probably be on the market, but those are before they are finished. This is our packaging area here where everything's basically put into boxes and shipped out the door to wherever across the world. All the cranks are up there ready for packaging. We mainly do black, chrome, white, and raw these days, but at one point we had 10 different colors, which I'm sure will come back at some point. But those are basically all cranks that are broached and on the shelf and ready to go. This is the machine shop, so basically profile is a giant L. Packaging, assembly is in one area, and then the machine shop is in basically the bottom half of the L, so come on in. When materials come in, they go through the bandsaw first, so there's nothing running right now, but when bar stock comes in, it actually gets sliced to the correct size that we need to feed into the machines. So that would normally what would be going on this machine, but it's not going on right now. There's basically stuff everywhere here. We've got, everywhere you look, there's stuff that needs to be finished or stuff that has just been started or whatnot. For instance, those are the Elite crank arm tubing that's swedged. That needs to get milled and welded eventually, but you can see kind of what it looks like. Profile started in 1968 making race car parts, which we actually still make. A lot of people don't know that. And these are some of the steering gears that we still continue to make after 1968. To this day, we still make them. Again, the random things that you see here, those are ratchet rings for mini hubs. Those are back from the heat treater. Those have to get the threads on the backside drilled out. I think a lot of people don't realize that the ratchet rings actually get thread into the hub shells. It's not one continuous piece, so it's actually an extra piece we have to make to get put into the hub shell. This machine's not running right now. This is our Eurotech that only makes hub shells. That's what it does for 8 hours a day. So we've got hub shells coming out of the machine right now, or they would be coming out of the machine. This machine right now is making spline drive spiders for the, they're actually 4-bolt spline drive spiders for the race end and the mountain bike end for that matter, but that's what Dan's setting up right now. So it takes about 3 processes to get those done. This is the second process in that. This area here, you can see it's set up for milling the cranks. It's not running right now, but you can kind of see what the crank arm looks like and what it's being set up to get done. Once those crank arms are milled out, they'll get the spindle and the pedal bosses welded in. Then they'll get ground down, and then they'll get prepped to get sent to the heat treater. Looks like they were running the Madeira bash sprockets, so that's what was coming out of the machine. This machine is currently not running. Moleville stems are getting prepped in this machine right now. Dan is at the other machine, so we can't show you them running, but you can kind of see the fixtures. We actually have to make those fixtures to make our parts. So what I like to tell a lot of people is that we actually make the parts to make our parts. You can see the first part of the, actually this is a finished Moleville stem. This is the third process in the stem being made. So you can kind of check out what they look like before they get deburred. Moleville stems running right here. You can see them in the machine getting milled out. This is the block that it's actually going to come from and turn into. This is the bar stock that you'll see for the hubs. So going back to the bandsaw earlier, this is the sizing it gets cut into in order to get fed in the machine for hub shells. This is a bar stock for aluminum axles. Kind of see what the bar stock looks like, and you can kind of see the axle getting configured out of it. So you kind of see what it looks like to what it is potentially going to look like. This is one of our newest machines. You can see it's actually making cogs right now. We still sell actually quite a few cogs. I believe it's making 16 tooths. Kind of get a glimpse of what's going on, and the cogs are getting dumped out right now. Another cool thing about production here is that everything's recycled. Our aluminum, our titanium, our coolant, all of it's recycled. So at one point, I'm assuming that material is probably going to come back through in some form to get refinished. But kind of an awesome thing I'm kind of proud of here that everything's recycled. So. Dave, what's going on in this machine?
Crank tools.
Crank tools? We're making crank tools right now. So kind of getting dumped out in there somewhere. This is the bar stock that the crank tool's made out of, but even the small parts that are kind of accessories to what we make here as well. So kind of amazing to see how much stuff we make, even the small parts that are almost not insignificant, but just the small accessories we also make here as well. So it's pretty much what's going on today in the machine shop. So thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. And as always, thanks for the support.